Let me tell you, it feels good to be back home at my own comic book shop, but be prepared. This is probably going to be the biggest haul of the year. Welcome to Spider Slayer's Comic Book Haul, fans. This is episode 644, the weekly video series where I share with you what I pick up at my LCS, which is Comic Central, located in the city of Sanford. So if you guys are ever in the Central Florida area, stop by the shop, check it out. Tell them my Spider Slayer sent you. They'll provide you with some great customer service, guys. They have great comic books. And you know what? You will get a mysterious black bag, which will carry your comic books inside. Now, like I said in the intro, this is probably going to be the biggest comic book haul of the year because I was not in my hometown this past week, so I'm back and there is a ton of books. So let's get started. And somehow everything is in the mysterious black bag here, and I gotta be careful. I gotta be super careful because we got a stack like this. Look at that, man. This is like the biggest stack I think maybe in history. And I've claimed there have been big stacks or big stacks of the summer, but it doesn't get any bigger than this one. All right, so let's get down into it. So when it comes to maybe last week's books, I'm not going to showcase the artwork. I'm going to do that in this week's books. But when it comes to this week's books, I did get this 1 in 25 Jackpot and Black Cat. This is issue 2. I think this one is a really nice cover. I saw this and I was like, yep, I'm definitely going to score on that one. So can't deny it, right? All right. So let's get into it. I think I got last week's books to showcase to you. So here we go. Destro issue 1. So I got this one and then the main cover. So I got those two. And I think this one here is the one I got last week. All right. And then I wound up getting Misery issue 1 of 4. I wound up getting Wonder Woman issue 10, which was weird for me. I did read it digitally. I wound up getting Nightwing issue 115, which was last week's comic. So that one was actually much better. World's Finest, was this last week or is this week? I don't even know. But regardless, it's a Nathan Zerdy cover. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So I was like, okay, yeah, why not get this particular cover? I'm not into the whole Batmite stuff, so I'm kind of like bypassing that story. So great cover. Then we had Batman issue 149. I like the issue. Some people might not like it because they reversed everything that they did, to deconstruct the character, and now all of a sudden he's got all his money back, he's got his hand back, and stuff like that, but I thought it was fine. If it takes an issue or two to do stupid stuff just to improve the character in the future, I'm okay with that. So here we go. That's a great looking cover, though. I had to pick that one up. All right. And then I wound up getting Feral last week, but I got the movie cover. This time I got the main cover, and I did read this book, actually, and it was really, really good. So you guys will be in for a nice treat for this particular comic book week, and I'm going to showcase the art because I think this one, for a lot of people, came out this comic book week. So, yeah. So really good stuff. There's like a news broadcast going on in there, so that's awesome. Okay. So let me put this one over here. Then we have... This is a new book this week. This is from Black Label, and this is Zatanna. You got that nice like art germ cover there. This is beautiful cover. Love that smile. She's got that little magic wand going, and I'm hoping this one is going to be solid. This one's written by Marco Tamaki. So, and here's the interior artwork when it comes to this book. Very bright colors in the very beginning, but maybe obviously this is flashbacks, and we'll see what happens going forward. Maybe this is when she was much younger. I'm not sure. But the artwork looks good. I'm very intrigued on this. I'm not a huge, I would say, Zatanna fan because I never read that much of her. But maybe this will be a good story to get into her, right? So yeah, we'll see what it has to offer. All right, here we go. Superman, this is issue 15, House of Brainiac. This is issue 6. I think we get Action Comics this week as well, and it's going to wrap up the Brainiac storyline. So, so sad to see this end. You know, sometimes when you have really good stories, you're like, oh man, I wish it wasn't over. But obviously, you don't want things being drawn out too long as well. So definitely looking forward to that one. Then we got the Power Girl issue 10, which is another House of Brainiac tie-in. This is not very good. Not a fan of it, but you know, we'll check it out and see how he continues to tie into the whole stuff. But it loosely ties into everything. So here's more of that artwork right there. All right, guys. So real quick before we carry on with this week's comic book haul, if you want to become members of my Facebook group called Comic Book Corner 2.0 Webheads Unite, just go on to Facebook, search for the group. It's absolutely for free. When you answer the community guidelines and follow the rules, I will approve you and you'll get into this community where it's just absolutely fun. You'll talk about everything about comics, whether it's your hauls, your trade paperbacks, your CGC grabs, all that stuff. Community questions when it comes to comics, it's there. And you know what? You'll never know when you get shouted out on New Comic Book Day hauls. It's a great little place, guys. And I wasn't able to do shout outs because I was out of town last week. And I wasn't able to do the haul in the car this week because my daughter had her friend in the car. And we got lunch. So yeah, it's just a weird, wacky summer. And this is just the way it goes sometimes. So that's why I'm doing this in the hot garage. All right, so let's continue on. We got Green Arrow. This is issue 13. So it looks like Ollie is like working with Amanda Waller because this is the countdown to Absolute Power. Why? I don't know. In the last issue, they were all family and they were all getting along and stuff like that. And now all of a sudden things have changed. So I don't know. We'll see. But I'm definitely looking forward to Absolute Power. So we were talking about Superman before, and here we go. We got Superman Action Comics issue 1066. So again, the conclusion or issue 5 to the whole Brainiac storyline. The artwork has been such a standout when it comes to this series. One of the best things about it. So yep, absolutely looking forward to, like I said earlier, those conclusions to those issues. So after all those that we talked about already, look at what we got left. We're just getting started. All right, and then we got the Absolute Power Ground Zero foil edition. I don't think I got a regular edition to this. I just got a foil edition. So if I read this, I'm going to have to read it like this. But, okay, what it is what it is, right? All right, and then we got Void Rivals. This is issue 10. Such an awesome book. The last issue, we got the Autobot Springer involved, and we get to see that he is back in the comic once again, helping out our main characters in the comic. This is a must-read for me every time that it comes out. You know, some people are like, well, it's not as good as G.I. Joe and Transformers. I get it. You like those properties, but what makes this so good is the originality of this comic, the original characters. You're not relying on the IP to make this a great book. It just adds to an already phenomenal book. So, looking forward to Void Rivals issue 10. All right, and then we have issue 3 of The Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives. This one is written by Dan Waters. This is the same guy that's writing the Destro comic book. This book is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's the best thing that I ever read. And they keep the creature from the Black Lagoon very mysterious, right? And like, see, he's like right here, right? And he's blended into the seaweed and it looks like he's going after this girl and stuff. So it's very much a murder mystery as well. And it's got some creepy factors in there and you kind of don't know what's like real from reality. So overall, it's a pretty solid book. All right, and then we got a new #1 this week, and I don't even remember what this is called, or I mean what this is about, and this is called Self-Help. This is issue 1. This is published by Image Comics, and the writer on this is Owen King and Jesse Killerman. I don't know, man. It will be talked about in Worthy Ones. So if you're looking forward to Worthy Ones this week and you like hearing about new #1 comic books, that's where you're going to want to tune in, and I'll give you my thoughts on this comic book. Same with Absolute Power Zero, whatever it's called. Then I did get this book last week as well. This is Redcoat issue 3. So I do have 2 copies of this now. I did not read the issue yet. So again, some people got it last week, some people got it this week. All right, then we got one of my favorite books, like next to Transformers. It's Rook Exodus. This is issue 3. This is from the Ghost Machine imprint. Jeff Johns, I think Jason Fabelker is the one that does the artwork in this. How can you not like this artwork? It is so well done, so detailed. Just love the way the masks are drawn in this and just the world that it takes place in. Here's our character right here, the new female that Rook had relationships with in the past. And even again, the world is beautiful. Everything about this book is great. And I just can't wait to see where it continues, how these people continue to survive in a planet that is falling apart, right? So that's Rook Exodus. All right, and then we wind up getting Dracula issue 2 from Blood Hunt. So I think this was a book that was from last week as well. So we got that one. We got Uncanny Valley. This is issue 3. I did not read this, and my shop still had copies of this. So I was like, score. I'll get to read it this particular comic week, so I'm excited about that one. Titans issue 12 came out last week, but I didn't read it, and I heard it was actually really good, continuing off of that new villain that was introduced, and kind of Raven does something in that comic. So they told me to read it, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read this one because I didn't realize that she was actually going to be back in there. So excited to read that. Then we have Sacrificers. This is issue 9. So really great book by Rick Remender. I can't wait to see how this continues as we get to see our pigeon character have godlike powers, and our people are struggling to survive. And this book has really gotten graphic as of late. Just a really interesting book to see what's going to go on with Pigeon. How is he going to survive? All this different stuff, man. Wow, I'm looking at some more of these pages, and it is absolutely intense. Now, there is a book that I did not get, once again, because my shop did not have it, and I finally added it to my pull list, and that is Grommets. I did get issue 2 of Grommets ordered. I will be getting it within a week or 2, and now it's permanently on my pull list. I did read issue 1, and I absolutely loved it. All right, last week we had Batman issue 149. Like I said earlier, this is just the regular cover of that book. I really liked the first issue of this. This was X-Men Era of Apocalypse. This is issue 2. The first issue was great. We get to see all the different X-Men in some kind of like trial, trying to please Apocalypse so they can be the next ruler or heir, taking care of Earth, while Apocalypse is going to be on Araco, which is Mars, right? And then they're going against his son in this issue. So that's pretty cool, man. I like the artwork in this book. I do like the cast of characters in this book. So this is pretty fun. It's like Ten of Swords, except better. So speaking of new number 1s and an X-Men book, we wound up getting X-Men Magic issue 1. So this is Blood Hunt. So if you've been reading the Blood Hunt tie-ins, it all features each week with a different X-Men character. And this week we have Ileana. So what is her whole deal with the vampires? Who knows? But I think she's here to kick some serious ass. Got some nice looking artwork there, right? So let's check this out here. So yeah, take it for what it is. This is one of the books you don't have to pick up because, again, there are a bunch of one-shots that come out each and every week. Then we got X-Men 97. So I got the regular cover right here. And this is issue 4 of the series. Is this the last issue? Because I know this is a limited series. So let me just check real quick. Yeah, it is the last issue of this. So you guys, if you've been reading 1, 2, and 3, go ahead, pick up 4. Obviously, it's got Mr. Sinister, and it leads into the series that you just watched on Disney Plus, right? And it's been good. I've been really enjoying it. Here's a very traditional, like, page or 2-page spread that we are familiar with from the animated series. So really good stuff there. And then I wound up getting the variant cover. We got that Scotty Young one with Storm on the cover. It's a great one. And then we wound up getting Madripoor Knights. Wolverine. This is issue 5. Pretty fun series. This one's written by Chris Claremont. So we get to see the interior artwork in there. Some pretty cheap paper on the cover. I already bent it. It's not like this series is going to be worth anything, but still. So that's pretty cool, right? Fun series. All right, and now we're continuing on with the Blood Hunt stuff. We got Moon Knight issue 6, Blood Hunt. So I'm very curious to see how the story is going to continue with Blood Hunt in here. And I think one of the standout characters right now is the 8-Ball character. I think he's great, man. I think he wants to redeem himself. He wants to prove that he's not some cheap villain. He wants to be maybe not quite like a hero, but he wants to improve himself. And I really like that, man. So, and the last issue kind of kicked off the whole Blood Hunt storyline. All right. Then from last week, I wound up getting Ultimate Spider-Man. This is issue 6. Another copy of it. I got a variant cover, so now I got the main cover of this one. Now we have Ultimate Black Panther issue 5. A really fun series as well, as we get to see Black Panther trying to get certain people he can trust. So he's teaming up with Killmonger. I think he's teaming up with his sister. And then who else? I think and Storm. Of course he's teaming up with Storm in here. And he feels like he can trust these people going forward. Right? And he has to reclaim his throne because people thought he was dead. Great artwork. Nice story here by Hill. So, yeah, definitely recommend it. I think a lot of us are reading this particular comic. All right. And then if you want to read a Thanos and you don't mind picking up the annuals for the next few weeks, this is the one to start with. This is Thanos issue 1 annual, as it has the Infinity Watch storyline. So check out Spider-Man annual. Check out, I don't know, what other annuals that are coming out that are attached to the story. But it's going to have to deal with an Infinity storyline with Thanos in there. So if that tickles your fancy, go ahead and check this one out. Whew, man, I am exhausted. It is so hot. I'm like dying, and we still got this much left to go. Last week, we had Spider-Woman. This is issue 8. Much improved as we got introduced to the Assembly, who they are, and who maybe they aren't. So I like it. I liked it. I'm curious to see the direction of this comic and those characters. Then we get the continuation of Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider issue 10. Issue 2. The first issue didn't do it so much for me, so I gotta give it another couple issues to see if the story is going to grow on me or not. I felt like the artwork is too soft, especially for certain villains, and Peter just looks weird here. Like, what is this? And that, like, come on, dude. Like, I don't know. I think the characters and the masks look okay, but the facial expressions are a little bit off for me. And how does Gwen get acclimated? Oh, there's some weird shit going on in this book. I don't know, man. We'll see. Just by the art, it's just turning me off. Here's another book where I'm starting to become on the fence. I hope this story arc doesn't go on too long. Spectacular Spider-Man issue 4. We have Arcade in the comic book, and he's like messing with people's realities and stuff like that, and you don't know what's real and what isn't, and you're kind of confused. And Peter Parker's married to Gwen Stacy, and Miles is hooking up with Kamala Khan, and then they go back to regular reality, and I'm just like, what is going on? So maybe you get revealed more of the plots. I don't know. Maybe they want you to be confused. So we'll see. Spectacular Spider-Man issue 4. Then we have Something is Killing the Children. I never want to do this many comic books again. It's so large. Oh my gosh. That's what she said, right? This is issue number 38. This is a phenomenal comic book. I love the run of this right now, where we're going into stories that is before the stories we read with Something is Killing the Children. We're learning about Erica Slaughter on the character that she is, why she is today, right? So really fun stuff here. Love the artwork. And Erica Slaughter is just a badass character. And I look forward to reading this book every single month it comes out. All right. Then we have my Guilty Pleasure comic. This is the Sensational She-Hulk. This is issue 9. Listen, I hated it at first, and then it became like this thing I love to hate, and then it became this guilty pleasure comic book, like a soap opera on TV, like General Hospital or All My Children or some cheesy CW flick, right? And it's just like, now I want to see how these two like hook up and like love each other. And then you wind up seeing, I think in this last issue, her get invited to the Avengers and trying to make that decision. Do I leave Jack? And if I'm with Jack, do I let the Avengers know he's alive? Do I join the Avengers? So there's a lot of good story threads going forward. It's just, what are people going to do with Jen going forward, right? So this was a pretty good book. All right, then we get Midnight Suns issue 2. This was another fun book written by Brian Hill with a team of Midnight Suns. You get Danny Ketch and Johnny Blaze in here trying to deal with the whole, vampire stuff. Look at that. That's pretty crazy, man. So it's a pretty dark book. I think we get like Blade's girlfriend trying to work with Johnny and trying to figure out what's going on with Blade, trying to stop him. So yeah, if you love horror, if you like vampires, I think this is a good one. All right. Jackpot, Black Cat, issue 4. Listen, it is what it is at this point. Another guilty pleasure comic. This is another one of those books where it's just like, I need to see the train wreck happen. And here we just get to see them standing around, sitting around, talking, not accomplishing anything. Where's Paul and his croissants this particular issue, right? Oh, there he is. There he is. Let's see what Paul says. I might have a way around them. That's all he says, right? And then you got the owl in this comic. And you got Black Cat in here, just doing her thing. Yeah, fighting the bad guy Bandwidth. What is that? Oh my gosh. Yep, and Paul's involved. He's got to get shot, man. He's got to die in this series. All right. Invincible Iron Man, issue 19. This is one away from the last issue, so the penultimate issue. I read this last week as well. Feels very filler to get to the end of where we need to go to. Jerry Duggan at this point, I feel like is checked out. He's like, I'm done. I had to get to a certain point. I just want to write the story that has to deal with Emma and Tony and just check out of this book. I really want to know who's going to take over Invincible Iron Man going forward. This overall was not a bad run. I feel like this was a better run than X-Men, and it just petered out in the last like 3 or 4 issues. All right, another book that came out last week that I did not read because I didn't get a physical copy was I Heart Skullcrusher, issue 4. This is also the penultimate issue. Such a great book, man. I absolutely love this thing about this girl trying to live her dream in this sport called Screaming Paintball. You get to see like cards in the back of the cover of all the characters that are in here. Just a really, really fun book. Next. Helverine, this is issue 2. Issue 1 was kind of weird, but again, Benjamin Percy writes this, and I love everything that he has written when it comes to like Wolverine and Ghost Rider and Helverine, and there's all these crazy supernatural people that are being created beneath the earth. Not beneath the earth, beneath the Pentagon. It's like this Dark Forces special team. It's crazy, dude. There's all kinds of stuff going on in here. We'll see. Almost done. Gotcha, man. Issue 1. We'll see what this has to offer. I remember reading this. I'm sorry, watching this when I was a kid. I think I'm going to pass out a heat stroke, man. It is so hot in here. And I just got done with tennis. I'm done. I'm cooked. Check out the art in this. That's good, man. That is good. Brings back memories, doesn't it? So really good. All right. Finally got the right issue of Doctor Strange. Last time around, I bought like issue 10, and we're on issue 16. I don't know what it was doing at that store. Blood Hunt tie-in right here, guys. Excuse me. So, Amazing Spider-Man, issue 52. This is where we're at with this comic book. Check out that cover. That's a cover, right? Better than this one. That's a nice one. That book was whack, though, man. It's weird. Then I also got this Scotty Young one. And then last but not least, So I Don't Die, Blood Hunt issue 4. I think, what we got? One more after this? Cool artwork. Pepe Larraz does some really nice artwork. Here we got the record in here too. So that's kind of cool. And that's kind of cool too. And then we'll see what the, of course, polybag version has in store for us this time around. And there you guys have it. Thank you so much for sticking with me in this entire haul, right? It was a tough one for me, especially doing it in this hot garage. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you love the content, there's more content right here for you. This is my top 10 most pulled comics of the comic book week. And as always, guys, remember, support the local comic shops. Keep buying, keep collecting, but always remember to read those comic books so we can have a great comic book conversation. And I better get started because I got a stack. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye.